Welcome to Rewind Rewatch. I am Andrene.
And I'm Joel.
And we are siblings who are rewatching 90s films and discussing how well they have aged. We will be talking about any themes, any quotes that jumped out to us, anything that didn't age well. I'll also be discussing some facts. And then at the end, we will give the movie a rewind rating between 1 and 5 to basically try to figure out how likely it is that we will watch this movie again. So today we're talking about Cool Runnings. This is a 1993 film with a PG rating. It's an hour and about 40-minute runtime. And this was requested by Megan.
Shout out to Megan.
Shout out.
This is a Disney movie, which I think a lot of times when you say Disney movie from the 90s, you think about the cartoons.
Right.
But this is one of many non-cartoon Disney films that came out in the 90s. And like we talked about in a previous episode, like you always know a Disney movie because they had those big funky VHS cases with the plastic and the there was this vintage style bar restaurant that opened up in DC a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
And they had it was like a cereal theme. So it was kind of supposed to be like reminiscent of your childhood or something.
Okay.
And when they would bring your tab out, they would bring it in like one of those plastic VHSs.
Oh, that's so cool.
I think it was in DC. Maybe it was somewhere else. But yeah, I always think about that because, you know, they just don't exist anymore, you know? People aren't really buying physical copies of movies.
No.
And if they are, most likely it's like a Blu-ray or something. So
Absolutely.
yeah, this is definitely a blast from the past and one of the big plastic case VHSs that we pretty sure we had this movie.
Yeah, we watched this movie a ton growing up for obvious reasons.
What are the obvious reasons?
Shut up, Joel.
What?
Just us being Jamaican American?
Oh, okay. Well, I
mean,
I don't think we've ever mentioned that on the podcast.
We
before.
have.
Oh.
We mentioned the Jamaican accents when we talked about Never Been Kissed and how bad the Jamaican accents were. We also talked about it in Boomerang when I mentioned that one of the actresses is Jamaican American.
Oh, okay. All right.
Grace. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Strong J?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay.
We mentioned it before. So yeah, that's the obvious reason why we grew up watching this a ton.
It was also a popular movie.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of kids our age were watching this movie.
So let's just get into just the 5 main characters, I guess I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Irv, who plays the coach, and that's played by John Candy. Huge name. He was in, Splash, Little Shop of Horrors, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the big one, Spaceballs, Uncle Buck, Home Alone. Apparently he was also in this sketch comedy show called SCTV for 3 years in the 70s.
SCTV?
Yeah.
What does the SC stand for?
I don't know.
Oh, because I'm wondering if it's something I would have heard of before.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but
SCTV doesn't sound too familiar.
But yeah, he's a huge name. R.I.P.
Oh, Second City Television.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
So this was basic. I have heard of this. I'm pretty sure there were a few other famous people that came from this because this was a Canadian TV show. John Candy's a Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say like Catherine O'Hara was also on this, which makes sense because they were both in Home Alone together.
Polka, polka, polka. No?
Eugene Levy is also Canadian. I don't know if he was on this show.
He was. I remember seeing his face when I briefly looked it up.
Yeah. So this was like the Canadian SNL. Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. We also have Darius is played by Leon, and it's just Leon. Like there's no he has a last name, but he doesn't go by it.
Once you know Leon, you know who Leon is.
Leon was in Above the Rim. He was in Oz. He was in The Temptations. That's pretty much what I think
He was in The
of.
Temptations and The Five Heartbeats.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Like kind of similar movies. Like one is kind of a play on the other, and he's in both of them, which is kind of funny. And of course, his character in Above the Rim is legendary. Like he dropped like 30 points in a basketball game wearing corduroys. This goes down in like hood movie history. Like, how did he do this? This is one of the best fictional basketball players of all time.
Next, we have Sanka, played by Dougie Doug.
Yeah, not Dougie Fresh.
Right. Don't be confused. So the thing about Dougie Doug is Dougie Doug was in a show called Cosby from 1996 to 2000. So
Not the
this is
Cosby
not
Show.
to be confused with the Cosby Show, which follows the Huxtables, like him and his wife and his kids. In Cosby, Bill Cosby plays a character who was forced to retire, but Felicia Rashad still plays his wife.
We said, we got a good thing going. Let's just run it back.
But the characters are completely different.
Yeah.
It's like Hilton and Ruth Lucas. I don't know. I've never actually...
That show didn't last for very long, right? Was it like
it aired
3-4 years?
96 to 2000. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he did that for a little
I have
bit.
a very vague memory of this.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually watched the show. If I did, maybe it was 1 or 2 episodes, but
Yeah.
I don't think it hit like the other one did.
I don't think people even know that this show even exists. So
They do now.
We're giving them something new. We've started straight out the bat with the fun facts.
Okay, next we have Junior, played by Raul D. Lewis. He wasn't in a ton of stuff that I was familiar with when I was looking at his IMDb, but he was on this show called Malcolm and Eddie.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes. Malcolm and Eddie. That's another Bill Cosby tie-in right there.
Yeah, starring Malcolm Jamal Warner and Eddie Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And then we also have Yul Brynner, played by Malik Yoba. And he's been on a lot of television. He was on New York Undercover. He was on Girlfriends, Alphas, Empire, Designated Survivor, First Wives Club, the Netflix series. And so, yeah, you see him in a lot of stuff.
Dang, I didn't know he was on Girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I see him, I always just think of New York Undercover and this movie. So, like,
okay.
I know he's in other stuff, but I wouldn't have been able to name
To
anything
pinpoint it.
else.
Understood. All right, so those are the main characters we're going to be talking about. There's so much to talk about this film. What's the first thing you want? Let me back up. The first thing we have to do is the one sentence summary before we do anything else. So in one sentence, Joel, how would you describe Cool Runnings?
A ragtag group of Jamaican sprinters decide to try to qualify for the Olympics as a bobsled team.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. So when I think about this movie, it's funny. We watched it a lot growing up, but I completely forgot that they were runners. Like in my mind, it was just like, oh, they were trying to go to the Olympics. And they were, like, I just never forgot about that part of the film where like there's a whole race that happens and like they're all trying to qualify for the Olympics.
I forgot about that too.
And let me tell you something. When Junior trips and falls, I was like, no!
Nah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
No!
I also, we're doing this thing again where we have the movie on in the background. And as I'm looking at the screen, they're showing Leon, his character's name is Doris, and his wife, I guess.
Yeah, I couldn't understand.
Because he's wearing a ring.
Oh, okay, so that's his wife.
But like, I completely forgot about this character as well.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that there was a girlfriend, wife, whatever.
Yeah.
And she kind of doesn't really serve much of a purpose in the film. So like, why did they decide to make him a married man?
I don't know.
I don't really know. And yeah, like it doesn't contribute anything past the first like 20 minutes because the rest of the movie they're in Canada and she's just watching it on TV. So it's like, why did we need this character?
It's to show back home he has someone who cares about him and rooting, but also the whole country
rooting for them. Yeah, it was not really necessary, but okay. But yeah, so Junior, Junior trips, and that's the rough thing about it with track, right? Like you're in your lane, you're trying to stay in your lane, and you see this a lot with like hurdles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody trips and falls,
it's over.
They fall in your lane, like it's over for you, dog.
Yeah.
Or like a skier that falls, like you're gonna run and knock over the other guys. So it's like,
there's nothing you
at
can
no
do.
fault of your own, somebody else's mistake costs you your chance. And that's exactly what happens to Doris and Yul Brynner, which is, absolutely ridiculous.
You don't like that name?
So yeah, we have to talk about these names, particularly these two. Yul Brynner, which is obviously a play on Yul Brynner, who was an actor who played in The King and I believe was the movie.
Not sure.
So like, instead of Yul Brynner, Bryn, his name is Yul Brynner, Bren. But like, why did they name him this? Because Yul Brynner was like Middle Eastern or something. He wasn't even like a Caribbean man, so I don't know why they named him that. But the more even ridiculous one is Dougie Doug's character name is Sanka Coffee. Like, come on, bro. Sanka Coffee?
But you gotta say Sanka.
Oh,
It's not
right,
Sanka.
of course.
Sanka.
Sanka Coffee. So yeah, I don't know what Sanka Coffee is like. Obviously a joke, and obviously this character is also like the comedic relief.
Yeah.
But Yul Brynner is more like out of left field. Like, why did they name him this? Other than the fact that they're both bald, like I don't really know what the connection was why they would have decided to name him this. And it's also the choice for them to, like, this is obviously a movie that's based on a true story.
Yes.
But they created 5 characters. The team and the coach are all named something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I guess they wanted to create distance between the true story.
Right.
But
that's exactly right.
they also could have just like given him a regular name. I don't know.
They thought it was fun, I suppose.
Yeah, it was fun for somebody.
So when I'm watching this film, and you mentioned Sanka and how he takes part in like this boxcar derby that he does, and these boxcars are a hot mess. It's like basically one adult and then one child, and they're driving these boxcars, they're racing them around, and it reminded me of the Little Rascals movie. But they had those like stupid little cars and the kids are racing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kept thinking in my mind, like I just picture like Alfalfa and like that other bad rich kid trying to run him over.
Yeah, the kid who looks like he could be Macaulay Culkin, but
Yes.
it's not Macaulay Culkin.
Correct. It's all very juvenile.
I think so. That was one of the things I was trying to figure out. Well, first of all, it's a push cart, so it's like it's basically you're pushing it with your feet, like it's a
Flintstones car.
Well,
Kind of.
sure. I was gonna say like a skateboard, but I guess like a Flintstones car. But then there's like Sanka's a grown man,
Yes.
so he's doing this like he's like doing the little skateboard thing on the back. But then there's a child like steering it
Yeah.
on the front. So I'm like, is this supposed like? I guess I was not clear on was this for the adults or was this for the kids?
Yeah.
Like, is this supposed to be a children's competition and they're
Adults are
using
helping.
the men to help them? Or is this supposed to be for the men and they're getting kids to steer?
That was unclear because Sanka takes great pride in mentioning that he's like the best boxcar driver in all of Jamaica.
Push cart.
Oh, correct. So to me, it's like he takes pride in this. So I'm assuming it's not for kids. I don't really know.
There's also a fair bit of child labor going on at the beginning of the movie where he's basically like telling the kids to fix his car up without paying them anything. And so yeah, it does kind of
He's the
seem
lazy
like,
one.
it seems like he's the one that's kind of like taking all the pride in this competition, and the kids are just kind of being used. But I was very unclear on like who's this race supposed to be for.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about that. So basically, after this race happens and they fall down, it's a hot mess. Your man Derice is like incensed, and he's like, "I belong in the Olympics, and I have to get to the Olympics one way or the other." And so he goes to talk to this gentleman who I believe he's like, maybe he's in charge of like who qualifies for the Olympics in Jamaica.
Yeah,
like
he's like the head of the Jamaican Olympic Committee.
And he's like, yo, like I need to get over there. And he's like, well.
And of course his name is Barrington.
Well,
he's a true Jamaican.
He's like, well, if you can box, because boxing is one of the sports that Jamaica competes in. He's like, man, I can't box. And we find out that Derice's pops got to the Olympics for running. And so it's very important for him to get there. And he basically learns that at one point, his pops has like a picture up with this other white man who was on the island, and he wanted his pops to try out for the bobsled team because he's like, I feel like a sprinter would work well. And so Darius goes to find him because he's like, yo, like, I gotta find a way to get to the Olympics. And he ends up finding him. The guy's name is Irv, and this is the guy who's played by Candy's character. And he's a bookie who like gambles and loses on horse races. Like he looks like he has like a 5 o'clock shadow. He just doesn't seem
He looks
like,
out of sorts.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's doing well at all in his life.
And the fact is, and as I'm watching this movie and having forgotten the plot, or not the plot, but having forgotten the details, I'm like, all right, so this guy is an American gold medalist.
2-time. He won 2 gold medals.
And now he's living in Jamaica as a sports bookie. So, like, something obviously happened back home. Where he's not going back.
Correct.
Like, obviously, he's either hiding from something back home or he's running away from something. Because why is he living this way? And it seems like when they run into him, he's like at this kind of like pool hall bar.
Yeah.
Which, to me, it seems like he owned the place, which wasn't super clear to me. But like,
I didn't even realize that. I thought he was just there.
No, I mean, they didn't really say whether it was his place or not, but it was like, there were like bobsled posters up on the wall that he then angrily tears down.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if he would have the wherewithal to do that as just a patron of just like, this isn't going to be up here anymore.
He's just an entitled white man. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, that could be it too. He's the only white person in the entire bar, and there doesn't seem to be anyone actually working. So I just assume that this was his.
It makes sense.
This was his business that is really just a front for him to be able to, gamble.
Exactly.
So yeah, he's not doing well.
He's not. And Darius wears him down and decides to say like, yeah, I need to go to the Olympics. Like, let's do this. But now it's basically him, and he is able to convince Sanka to join him on this quest to create a bobsled team. They need 4 guys. They only have 2. And so they basically have like this call for different athletes who didn't qualify. And they're like, hey, we're trying to do a bobsled team. Like, come on out so you can learn about it. And this thing was actually kind of funny to me because they have all these athletes in this huge room, like a rec room. And this is where Herb is basically talking to them about what it takes to be on a bobsled team. But he doesn't make it sound very interesting or safe. It's at all.
It's just like last week with Truman Show when he goes to the travel agency and it's like, plane crash, it could happen to you. It's like, this is basically what he's doing at this meeting. It's like, oh yeah, you could be in a bobsled and then you could break all your bones and your car could turn over, and like, he's basically just making it sound like the most dangerous sport.
Right.
Not to mention, it's a winter sport and it's a group of Jamaicans.
So they're like, what? So everybody just clears out of the room like, we're not interested in this whatsoever. And then, of course, we already know the last 2 guys who are going to agree to do it is going to be Junior, who knocked him over, and then the other gentleman, Yul Brynner.
I looked it up, by the way. The real Yul Brynner is a Russian man. So, again, very much not Jamaican, not an islander, not even a black man. So the only thing I could think of is that they were like, oh, he's also bald. This would be funny. Like, that's really the only connection I could think of. And there's a lot of like, yo, he's baldy. He's a baldy. Like, what's his name? Sanka keeps talking about, like, he keeps referring to him as baldy for like the first 20 minutes of the movie. It's like, oh, okay, we get it. He's bald. And then he's like, yo, I could draw a line down your head and make it look like a butt.
How about I beat your butt right now?
How about I draw a line down the middle of your head so it looks like a butt?
But that line,
which is funny.
That line always reminds me of Dave, because Dave always used to say that when we were younger.
Our brother Dave,
yeah, he used to always say that.
Because it's like such a ridiculous line that it sticks out, and then when you hear it, it's just like you have to kind of laugh because it's so stupid. But this is what he's doing the whole movie. Like, this is what Sanka's doing the whole movie. Like, he's just clowning around. He's very much. he's like the stereotype of like the lazy islander.
Yeah.
Who's just kind of like
for
hanging
sure.
out by the beach with a beer in his hand, you know, letting life come to him as it may.
Yeah, I think he just works like selling T-shirts apparently on like one of those like side stores.
Nah, he's
like,
not really concerned with
money.
Although, you know, I do want to talk a little bit about that because there is obviously like a whole classism backstory with Junior, who comes from money. He has a degree, which is also a point of contention with Baldy, who calls him like college boy, rich boy, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we see his house, and his house is like massive. And there's a whole backstory with his dad that we'll talk about in a second. It seems like Yule doesn't have money because he's very much like, yo, the only reason I'm doing this is so I can get out of Jamaica because I feel like I don't really have any opportunity here. And you guys are idiots for wanting to stay. And Sanka seems very unconcerned with money or ambition in general.
He's smart. Sanka's smart though.
Sanka's smart.
Like in the sense that like there's a scene where Yule is showing him a picture like, I'm going to get off this island and I'm going to live here. And he shows a picture of a mansion. And Sanka's like, that's Buckingham Palace. Like, bro, like you didn't know that?
But also he should have known that. Like, why did you think you were going to move here? Like, that didn't make any sense at all. Like, bro. So it's like, oh, so he's an idiot. Like, this is the whole thing. I didn't take from that Sanka was smart. I just took from it that Yule was dumb. It's like, oh, like, he just thinks if he leaves Jamaica, he's going to move into Buckingham Palace. Of all the things. He's like, oh, all I have to do is leave this island.
Right.
And I'm going to move into a mansion? Like, come on, bro. Even if you didn't know what it was, like, you're not moving into that house.
Well, you know.
But Darius, they don't really talk about, like, his background. All we really know about him is that he has this woman, wife,
girlfriend,
whatever,
something, yeah,
and that his dad was an Olympic sprinter,
right?
But there is a scene towards the beginning of the movie where he goes home and his girl is there and they're talking on the porch of his house. And then they pan out and they show his house. And I'm like, wait a second. This is a beachfront property.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
With plenty of land and no neighbors anywhere in sight. I'm like,
oh, he has land.
So I'm like, wait, so this guy's rich too. But it never comes up again. Yeah. And I don't think I noticed it, obviously, as a kid, because I'm not thinking about real estate. But I'm like, I've been to Jamaica. Like, people don't just live in homes like this. Like, you have to have means. You have to kind of have money to just like buy a beachfront house in the middle of an island with no neighbors anywhere. So like you have a ton of land as well. So I'm like, maybe this guy's also rich. But I do want to talk about Junior and
his pops?
This whole situation with his dad.
Okay.
So the breakdown is Junior is wealthy. They live in this massive, house, mansion, whatever. And his dad is basically kind of managing his life, for lack of a better phrase. So Junior is like, yo, I want to be a sprinter. I want to be an athlete. His dad thinks it's silly. All right, come on. Try to get into the Olympics. You failed. You fell down. You made a fool of yourself. All right, now it's time to be serious. And his father says it's time for him to focus on a real future.
Right.
So basically, athletics is not like real. You need to get a real job. And he gets him a job.
In Miami.
In a brokerage firm in Miami.
Yeah.
So not only like, he goes and helps him get in. No, he gets him a job. So like, he's like, yo, this job is yours, and I'm telling you about it after the fact. Yeah. Like, you didn't even have the interview. So his pops obviously has pull. Not to mention, there are a bunch of Jamaicans, and he gets him a job in the States.
That's a big deal.
So it's like, yo, this guy obviously is like, now it's telling us a few things. It's telling us that he has means, he has some pull, and like, is able to maneuver things. But also the fact that he's basically making decisions about his son's life and telling him about it after the fact.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like, hey, would you like this job? It was like, I got you this job, and now you need to move to Miami.
Which is wild. Like, can you imagine?
So, what was your thoughts about the the junior character? How would you describe him?
Well, the junior character, he's used to being controlled at a very young age. You got to think. He actually reminded me of like a weaker Carlton from the Fresh Prince show. In the sense that like he does come off as like the preppy one, but at least Carlton was driven on his own. Like Carlton would have gone out and got the job in Miami. Yeah. I feel like Junior's just kind of like floating along, like wherever the wind or his dad takes him is where he's gonna go. He doesn't really have any real drive, but it's also just like.
Well, he did show up to the bobsled meeting.
Oh, yes, I suppose so.
And he hid that from his dad.
And that was a big deal. It's probably the first time he's ever done that.
Yeah.
And then he defied his father by then going to Calgary later on.
Well, even before he goes to Calgary.
Oh, he sold his car.
He sells his car.
Oh, my God.
Because they didn't have the money to get there.
Yeah.
And
that's
he's like,
insane.
yo, I owe this to you guys. And, I'm the reason you guys didn't make it to
Which
the Olympics.
is true.
Because they were the two fastest sprinters. They presumably would have won the race. Yule and Darius. So he's like, all right, like, this is my bad.
Yeah.
Take my bread. And now y'all can go to the Olympics. Granted, it's the Winter Olympics, and it's a completely different sport, but you can still be Olympians.
Still get there, exactly. Yeah, I mean...
And then they're like, oh, what's your dad going to say? He's like, oh, I never told my dad that I sold my car.
And you're like,
And I didn't tell him that I'm going to Canada. He thinks I took the job in Miami.
But it's like, he's going to know when you don't show up.
Obviously.
Obviously, he has contacts in Miami.
Obviously, he has contacts in Miami. So it was like, yeah, it's like he's, like you said, he's like doing these things on his own where he's trying to take ownership of his life, but he's still like scared.
Which, I mean, I understand because like you got to assume he's post-college. So he's like
early 20s.
Early 20s. And yeah, you're still like you're an adult, quote unquote, but you know what the heck you're doing with your life. And so to finally step out and do something that your father doesn't want you to at that age, for the first time, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I'm about to be in this freezing cold weather in another country, trying not to die in a bobsled. Like, the whole thing is terrifying. Like, when you watch how fast the bobsled is going around the track, like, that to me is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like being on a roller coaster, but you're controlling it.
Yeah, you're not on a track.
Like, you're just bouncing around.
Like, you better figure it out. You better steer it up.
That's terrifying. The whole thing is crazy to me.
There's a part when they go to Calgary and they have to like do qualifiers. Now, I don't know how true this is, but at least in the movie, the way that they say it is, well, because your team didn't like participate in the qualifying trials, they basically have the opportunity to qualify at the event by basically finishing the trial run within a certain time. Now, I'm not quite sure that's how the Olympics work, but
they had to get under a minute. They had to get through.
So when they get there, at first it's like, oh, you guys have to finish in a minute and 2 seconds. And the coach is like, wait. The qualifying used to be a minute and 5 seconds.
No, they went from 102 to 1 flat.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. When they got there to register, he said,
oh, to register,
it used to be 105, and they said, now it's 102. Times have changed. So he's like, what? So then, now they're thinking, we have to shave 3 seconds off.
That's a lot.
But then when they go to actually do it, they're like, oh, we changed it again. It's 1 minute flat. I'm like, wait, what? So y'all are just trying not to get Jamaica in the tournament. So whatever. But when they go to do the trial run, they do this really cool thing that I thought was like a really nice direction choice, where they did two things. One, they showed the camera angle from the front of the bobsled. So you're literally seeing what it looks like going down this chute. And the other thing that I thought was a really nice touch was they cut the music out of the scene. So all you hear is the sound effects of this cart going down this ice luge.
Ugh.
And you're hearing like the rickety, and you're just seeing the way that they're hitting all the turns. And yeah, it's terrifying. But I thought that was like really cool. Like this is obviously a movie for kids, but I thought that was like a really nice direction choice because it kind of shows you how daunting it is. And I think when you're just like watching it on TV, you don't get that sense.
Exactly.
But having that first person perspective was like, oh, like this is what this is? Like, nah. Like, nah, this is
there's no way I'm doing that.
Scarier than it seems.
There's no way in the world I'm doing that. So when they get there, of course they have other countries are looking at them. Number one, because when they first show up, the bobsled that they have, I mean, is completely in shambles. Talk about little rascals.
When it first gets there, they don't even have a bobsled.
That's true.
They don't even have a bobsled.
And Irv has to.
What was the plan?
Irv has to hit one of his friends. He's like, "Yo, like, you have any spare part, like any old ones laying around that we could just kind of use?" And he's like, "All right, I guess I owe you one." And he gives it to him, but they didn't have time to paint it to do anything to it for their first run. And it's just like
it was the practice cart.
Yeah, I mean, it looks terrible.
Or bobsled, rather.
So all the other countries are like polishing off, their nice, their Swedish carts, their nice finishes, and they're looking at them like all chatter stops, and everybody's just looking like, so what is that, Jamaica? What is that? First of all, it's Jamaica, so it's like laughable. Like, why y'all even here? And
it's also 4 black guys in a very white sport.
Yes, Jamaica.
Yes.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I found it interesting that the country that seems to be, chiding them the most, of course, is Germany.
Jamaica. Yeah, Jamaica, hey? Hey, Jamaica.
Every time he said that, I would just laugh.
Yo, but the funny thing is, he's calling the guys on the team Jamaica. like he's talking to the guy at the bar. He's like, Jamaica. None of us want you here. Yeah?
You have no business here, Jamaica. You and your stupid friend playing like you're bobsledders. Yeah? Why don't you tourists go back to where you came from and leave the bobsledding to the real man?
He was hitting the ya, man.
He
hard.
really was.
Every sentence he ended with ya. Jamaica. Ya, Jamaica. That shit was crazy.
So, like, it was supposed to be like, they're not wanted here. And of course, there's discrimination and all that. But I couldn't help but laugh every time he came on the screen. Like, I couldn't take him seriously as a villain. I'm like, this guy's hilarious.
That shit was funny. Good luck qualifying, Jamaica. Yo, the funny part is when they're at the bar, they go to like this honky tonk country bar.
Yeah, I was very confused as to why they were there.
Which I was like, why is there a country bar in the middle of Canada? But I looked it up, and apparently there are a ton of country bars in Calgary.
Too. I was like, what?
So apparently that's a thing. So shout out to Calgary.
Shout out.
So they show up there, and of course, what is it, East Germany?
Yes.
They're there, and he starts chiding the guy. He starts, doing his whole Jamaica bit. And then he tells the guy off, and then like he goes back to his friends, and they're all like patting him on the back and stuff. And I'm like, wait, why is this a thing? Like, why are they all so impressed by him making fun of this country?
It's a kid's movie. So it's like the bully at school and like his little posse, and they're like, yeah, good one. That's what it was.
It was exactly what it was.
That's exactly what it was. It was for children. It was for children. And I just remember like this is when the fight breaks out.
Of course.
At a bar like this, there has to be a bar fight. Like,
well, it's also the fact that like he's talking trash and he's punking Junior, who's been getting punked the whole movie. And then Junior and Yule, who have been at odds, because Yule is pissed off that Junior basically ruined his chances. But over time they make up.
Mm-hmm.
And Yule's like, yo, like, bro, you gotta stop letting people punk you all the
Yeah.
time. Like, you're like a super pushover, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he gives him the whole speech about having pride and power.
I love that scene though.
Nah, it's great.
Like, it's just such a nice moment where not only is he deciding to like befriend this man, but it's like, giving him a little bit of self-confidence, because it's like, bro, like, you need to be able to stand up for yourself. Like, you're not a child, basically. And he does the whole thing in the mirror, like, what is it? I see pride.
Say,
I see
you
power.
know what I see? I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother who won't take no crap off of nobody.
He makes him say it over and over again. In
So
the mirror.
he's juiced up. Now he's like, yo, I see pride. I see power. Like, yeah. So then he goes back outside like, yo, East Germany. You can't talk to me like that.
Right.
And then he's like, what are you going to do about it, Jamaica? What are you going to do, Jamaica?
Jamaica.
And he's basically just going to beat him up. But then it's like, but Yul Brynner's here.
Man.
So it's like, bro, like, you didn't see this big black dude here? Like,
the bald black man.
yeah, the big bald black man. You thought you was just going to beat these guys up?
But then Yul comes over and he says, no problem, man. And then he punches him.
Of course he says that. Of course. What else would he say? No problem.
That's all Jamaicans
man.
say. That's like our favorite phrase. Apparently.
So, speaking of which, and actually, we got a question about this from the Patreon.
Oh, yes. Destiny.
Yes, shout out to Destiny.
Shout out.
We've been enlisting folks from the Patreon to send us in some questions about the films that we've been watching. So shout out to Destiny. But she had a question about the accents. And
I have a lot to say about this.
Obviously,
it's the facts as well.
As Jamaican Americans, you know, you're used to seeing really bad Jamaican accents. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about on Never Been Kissed. So what did you think of the accents in this movie?
So I went into it thinking like, oh, they're going to be really bad. So I just couldn't remember. Mm-hmm. And it was like, yes, like it's not real patois. No, at all. But I don't know. Like I wasn't cringing. It kind of just felt like they were they were just some regular black guys who like just happened to spend some time on the island. But like it didn't sound Jamaican. No. But it also wasn't like. I don't think it was terrible. I wasn't like sitting there like cringing and like it was like, oh, okay, they're just kind of black guys. Like they didn't really try. Is what I wanted to say. Like when I was watching it, I didn't feel like they were trying to put on a lot of Jamaican.
I think a part,
and I'll explain why.
Yeah, I think a part of that is like they could kind of get away with it because this is not a serious movie. Mm-hmm. So I think in a more serious film, the accents would have stood out more. This is a movie for kids, so it's kind of like you give it a pass. I also feel like, in general, some of the accents are a lot worse than others. So, like, some of the side characters that we see in the Jamaica scenes, I feel like their accents were pretty authentic, but they're just not the main characters.
Yes.
So, like, some of the kids or some of the people, I'm like, oh, like, I'm pretty sure these are like real Jamaicans.
Yeah.
But like obviously none of the main characters are. I would say, you know, Junior's is probably the least offensive because he is supposed to be someone with money. So he kind of just sounds like someone with money.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like someone with money in Jamaica is going to sound a lot different than somebody without it. So he just kind of sounds like a stush Jamaican. Like, all right, whatever. Yeah. I would say the worst is Dougie Doug.
I knew you were going to say that.
Like, his is like not even close.
I knew you were going to say that.
He's way off. And then I would say Derice is probably second best just because he seems to be trying the most.
Okay.
I guess it's not great, but I'll probably give it like a 7 out of 10. And then Yule's is not good. You know, he's probably like a 5 out of 10. I feel like it doesn't stand out that much because he's also kind of like the strong silent character. Mm-hmm. So he's not doing a lot of talking to begin with. I feel like the bad accent stands out the most when he is giving that whole I see pride, I see power speech.
Pride, I see power.
And then I'm like, wait. It's like when he's giving a whole monologue, then that's when I'm like, wait, this accent stinks.
Well, you want to know what I see? I see pride. I see power.
I see a badass mother who don't take no crap of nobody.
You really see all that?
Yeah, man. But it's not about what I see. It's about what you see.
But usually, most of the movie, he's just saying, "Don't touch me." So like, you don't really notice it.
So I have a lot to add.
Okay.
Like a lot. Okay, so real fast. Leon was born in New York, but he actually did live in Jamaica for 3 to 4 months of the year for 10 years.
Well, that explains why his was better than theirs.
Okay. Yoba, no, he was just born in the Bronx. Nothing there. Dougie Doug actually has family from Jamaica. He's not from there, but he has family. Yeah. Joel's face. But again, I'll explain why.
Okay.
Raul D. Lewis is from New Jersey, but he spent a lot of time with Caribbeans. So he said he knew what a Jamaican accent was supposed to sound like. Now, in defense of all 4 of the actors, the director, John Turteltaub, I was reading this article from Entertainment Weekly where they interviewed the director as well as the actors. Mm-hmm. And he said that he almost got fired when the guys spoke actual patois because the higher-ups could not understand the Jamaican accents.
Oh.
The guys were told to speak like, quote, Sebastian the Crab from The Little Mermaid.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, that's not surprising.
So
not surprising.
Dougie Doug was like, I found that was weird because Sebastian kind of has more like a sing-songy accent, kind of like how Trinidadians talk, which is pretty accurate. So he said, I think I ended up sounding like a Jamaican Jerry Lewis.
That is amazing.
Yoba said that he was sold to be a black Aladdin. And he's like, but Aladdin wasn't Jamaican, so I don't.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they told him to try to be like a black Aladdin.
Aladdin also didn't have an accent.
Joel, I don't know. This is what he said.
He just sounded like an American man.
That I don't know. And then
sound like Aladdin. Okay, it just sound like I'm from the
so
Bronx.
So basically, they were told to keep like they're like, no, it's too Jamaican. It's too Jamaican. Like we can't understand you. So in their defense, like they kind of had to just do this. And then the actor who played the guy from East Germany, Outerbridge, basically again, like they told you, like, you know, try to put on like this thick, like, you know, bad guy Jamaican German accent, but like still that we can understand you. And so he said I ended up just basically imitating a German accent from a cartoon show because it was like,
that's it.
What else can I do?
That's the way to do
just
it.
want to put that out there. They likely would sound better if it was a more serious film. Different production, but Disney was like, nah, this is too much possible.
I mean, we're making a movie for 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
We want them to be
This is not Shatas.
No, this is not. Okay, well that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, shout out for that question again. And another thing that I wanted to point out, because we already talked about how they get the money to go by Junior selling his car. But before Junior sells his car...
What they were trying to do?
They're like, yo, we need $20,000 to get to the Olympic qualifiers. And they're like trying to do like $1 fundraisers. Like, Derice has a kissing booth where he's kissing women on the island for $1 each. Yule is doing arm wrestling competitions. And I'm like, this is not going to get you $20,000.
It's not going to get you $200.
What are you doing? They end up raising like $50. Not to mention, he's married, kissing all these women, and then his wife just shows up, and he's like, "Oops."
That was like why they had her there. Like it was like, oh, let's put her in there and then let her show up on the line. And again, that's very.
And she waited in line. She waited in line patiently while he's kissing all these other women in front of him.
His eyes are just closed. He's just kissing women with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
He opens it and then he's like, "Oh, it's my wife," or
Oops.
Whoever the heck she is. And that was giving me vibes of like Saved by the Bell, something like Zach would do.
Oh, 100%.
You know? Set up a kissing booth.
100%. Have kissing booths ever actually existed outside of TV?
I've never seen one.
I feel like this was something that you would see a lot in TV and movies when you were a kid, and then you're like, oh, like, is this a real thing? Like, am I going to see this when I get to high school? I never saw a kissing booth.
That.
Not at my high school. I don't know if any of you did, but I feel like this is one of those things that like never really materialized in any way, shape, or form outside of TV.
We did have like auctions in college though. Where you can like
Date auctions.
you can like donate money to a.
Yeah, I did a couple of those. When I was in
did one as
college.
well to donate money to charity or something.
That's not quite the same as a kissing booth.
No, but I feel like I've seen that stuff on TV as well. Where it's like, you can date this person. And I was like, do they do that?
They had a date auction on Saved by the Bell. Too.
Exactly, exactly.
That was when Zach kissed Lisa, wasn't it? Oh
No,
no, that was a
fashion
fashion show. That was a fashion show. You're right.
Speaking of Zach and Lisa, sorry. Side note. Apparently they dated in real life. Did you know this?
I did not know that.
They dated for like 3 years.
Mark Paul, man.
Mark and Lark.
Mark and Lark. Wow, 3 years.
Bro.
Wow.
I wanted them to be together so badly on that show. And like when they kissed, I was elated.
Nah, dog.
But then the next week, like, they didn't come back.
Nah, I didn't want anything
Nah, I was
to do
here
with that.
for it.
I was not here for it. It was the betrayal of the highest order. Screech is supposed to be your man's. That's been your man since elementary school.
But he doesn't own her.
Yeah, but you don't do that. That's bro code. If one of your best friends, if your best friend has a crush on a guy, you're gonna be like, well, she doesn't own him.
But you don't own him.
then you're gonna lock lips.
But here's the thing, real fast. Here's the thing. We're way off. We're way off here.
Come on, dog.
But here's the thing about this.
Scandalous.
Is Screech actually his best friend? Because I feel like the way he would treat Screech.
Is this when he needs something from Screech?
Yeah, I feel like Screech is not really his best friend. I don't think Zach even really has a best friend.
His best friend might be Jesse.
Zach does, yeah, I agree with that. Zach does what works for Zach.
He kissed her too.
Well, he kissed all of them. Oh, that was a Snow White?
Seven Doors. The Seven Doors rap. The Seven Doors
all right, we gotta
rap.
get back. We're doing too much. We're doing too much. We gotta get back. Okay, wait, where are we? Where are we?
So we were just talking about the fundraisers and we were talking about
kissing.
all that stuff. So when we get to Calgary, we see that the Team USA sees Irv and they're throwing him major shade. And it's like, yo, what's going on? Why are these people acting mad rude? And they're like, oh, Jesus, Irv, what did you do to yourself? Look at you. You look like a sloppy bastard or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like giving him like mad rudeness. And they basically don't want to talk to him.
And why is that?
We find out that he got his medals stripped because he cheated in 1972 by putting extra weights in his bobsled to make it go faster. So he basically disgraced himself, disgraced his team.
His country.
And disgraced his country. And that explains why he's been spending the past 20 years living in Jamaica as a gambling bookie.
Yeah, they stripped him of his medals too. Like he lost everything.
Yeah.
It's like, which is like, and at one point, Doris even asked him like, you already had 2 medals. Like, why did you do this? And he's like, at that point, I just had to win. And, it's a cautionary tale about, doing whatever it is that you need to win is like.
At what cost?
It's really probably not the best thing for you to be doing because at some point you're going to get caught. And we've seen this with a number of athletes who get caught.
Bro, especially the Olympics.
Can you imagine?
That's not the time to be cheating.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. That is a really bad
Wait,
idea.
wasn't Russia called out for something bad with their gymnasts or I feel like there was some scandal
maybe
recently.
I don't remember. I feel
like there was some scandal. They couldn't compete.
That sounds familiar.
Right?
That does sound familiar.
I don't follow Olympics enough, but I feel like there was something going on like that.
Yeah, that does sound familiar.
And it's like, bro, if you blow this chance, you can't come back for another 4 years, maybe.
Yeah, we've seen sprinters get kicked out for
roids,
doping, and then it's like, yo, you won, but now you have to give it back, and now you're a international embarrassment. So you're like, yeah, just don't cheat. So not only does that happen, but now we find out that his old coach is now on the alliance committee and is creating stipulations to basically try to disqualify them after they actually did the qualifying trial in under a minute.
Right. And
so Irv shows up to the alliance committee meeting, bursts through the doors, and gives this rousing speech about how the Jamaicans deserve shots and how he's apologetic for his mistakes, but basically don't take out my mistakes on these guys.
Yeah.
And then we find out the next day that his speech worked.
Yeah.
And they are allowed to compete.
So when they start competing, the first time they go out on the ice, they're an absolute disgrace. Like, they're bouncing all over the place.
It takes them like 9 seconds to get into the bobsled.
Yeah. And I think it's supposed to be like under 6, they said, or under 5.
Yeah.
And it took them, like 11 seconds, which is way
like,
too
bro,
long.
The race is halfway over. Y'all still standing on the outside of the... Get inside, bro.
Go in.
You're still running alongside the bobsled. Like, you got to get inside.
The bobsled.
What are you doing?
And so they're bouncing around, and like all of Jamaica is watching back home. This is where we see the girlfriend / wife watching, and everyone's just kind of like, "Oh, this is so embarrassing. This is terrible." And so now, I mean, it's an embarrassment, and then you also feel bad because it's like, bro, like, what actually are we doing?
Oh, well, the first time they try to go, they don't even get in. Remember they lose the bobsled runs away from him, and then there's a picture in the paper the next morning. They're like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
They lose control. The bobsled goes down the chute, and they're running after it.
That was Irv's old coach, had a photographer. He's like, get the shot. And they took a picture.
Nah, he's being a certified hater the entire time.
And so now, of course, Junior's pops is tight.
Yeah.
My son is an embarrassment, international embarrassment. So he's tight.
My son is in Calgary, Canada, when he told me he was in Miami.
So then his pops flies over, gets to the hotel, knocks on the door. First of all, how does he even know what room they're staying in? This security is not great, this hotel.
Because he's Junior's pops.
No.
What do you mean?
No, you can't.
He knows all things.
Not supposed to be giving out people's room numbers.
He knows all things.
Nah, that's terrible.
Where's my son? And they were like, all right, you got it, sir. His name is Junior Beville. And I want his room number now. And they were like, all right, you got it. We don't want no smoke.
That's probably what he did.
We don't want no smoke with Junior's pops.
And I don't know if
Junior wanted to smoke with his pops.
I don't know if you noticed this. Before his pops knocks on the door, Junior's in the room and he's talking with your boy, Brunner.
You? I'm still so mad about this.
And on the cabinet or dresser or whatever is a bottle of Ting.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see that?
And he had wave grease.
He did. So
Ting is a nice detail.
Ting is a very popular Jamaican soda. It's kind of like a lemon lime kind of.
It's like grapefruit flavor.
Yeah, it's very strong, but it's also good. I don't like grapefruit, but I like Ting.
Ting hits.
So,
Ting hits.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, nice.
It's a nice detail.
This is where Junior's able to actually confront his pops, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to Miami." And his father's like, "What?" That's not how this works. I tell you to do something, like, we're leaving now. He basically like, we're going back home now. And he's like, nah, I'm going to stay here.
It's crazy because he's now gotten a boost of confidence from Yule.
Yeah.
So he says to his dad, like, when you look at me, what do you see?
Yeah.
And his dad's like, I see a lost little boy who needs me to basically help him get his life together. So he's like, oh. So he's like, yeah, so gather your things, we're going home. And he's like, yeah, nah, I'm not coming. What? What? My son stood up to me? Yeah. And the other thing is, let's say Junior was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to come home. Like, yo, bro, he already qualified for the Olympics, and now you're pulling him out.
You're abandoning the rest of the team.
That was also the whole point of the beginning of the movie. You let him run in the race because you were like, hey, I'm going to give you a shot. And if you qualify, then fine. But you didn't, so time to get a job. Well, now he's at the Olympics and he's qualified and they're supposed to race like the next morning. So like, what, you're going to just bring him home and then the rest of the team is screwed?
Yeah.
Like, come on,
He didn't think that through.
He was just...
He just said, you defied me. That's really the whole thing.
He was on his pop's pride. He was on his like parent pride. Like, yo... I need to tell my kid, but it's like, nah, bro. Like, think about the big picture. You're wrong.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Get Junior's pops out of here, bro. Get him out of here.
We're throwing him out?
Yeah, get him out.
Oh, man.
Time to go home, Jamaica. Get him out of here.
So one thing that I think they did a really good job in the movie, and it's kind of jumping into themes a little bit, but it's okay. Basically, what's his name? Darius is the driver, and the driver is basically like the team captain. He's the one who has to spend, the night staying up. There's actually a scene where you see him and he has like pictures of each and every curve, and he has to study the curve, and like you see him like looking at the picture and then like moving his body to the left or to the right, and he's trying to memorize, okay, first turn is left, second turn is right, because as they're going down, he's yelling out like the sides to the rest of the team. And they're basically moving left or right based on what he says. And he's the one that's in charge of making sure they don't get killed, basically. And as he's going through, he's trying to make sure everything's good. You see that he ends up like really looking up to the Swiss team because they're like the best team. Like they're very fast, they're very efficient. And he ends up trying to copy like what they do before they start their races. And he notices that like the Swiss team does this thing where like, I guess the driver goes around and hits all of his teammates on top of the head. And so he goes around and he's like, pop, pop, like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, that's what the Swiss team does. And it's like, that's not going to help them. That's not going to help you win the race.
He was doing too much. He was doing too much. Like, bro, you're not Swiss. Like, can you cut it out? He even had them saying 1, 2, 3 in Swiss. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, it was a lot. And it's like, that's not really going to help you. But the overall bigger picture of that was like, not to try to be who you're not, right? Not to try to emulate someone else, which is what he was trying to do. And that's when they ended up they actually do make it in, but their time was so slow that it was like, y'all, what are y'all actually doing? And it's not until they decide to be their authentic selves, like be their Jamaican selves, that they're able to make an excellent time and get in and kind of like, do their thing. And
they had to feel the rhythm and feel the rhyme.
They did. And they had to sing their Jamaican bobsled song.
No people say that can't believe Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. No people say that no, can't believe Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. We have the one Reef and the one Junior. You brother and the man Tanka. The passes of Jamaican sprinters. Respect to the man Herb Blitzer.
Jamaica, we have a bobsled team.
So what's funny about that is the bobsled song, Yoba actually wrote that.
Great.
Before his interview.
Oh.
He went into his interview and like just started doing the whole thing and like did the song.
They're like, you're hired.
And they liked it. They liked it, obviously. Which is funny because like out of all the characters, he's like the least likely to have thought of this kind of silly song.
Yeah.
But the actor was the one who actually thought it up.
That's amazing.
So shout out to him.
No, that's good. So, yeah, they switch it up, and now they're doing this feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up, it's bobsled time, instead of ein tight or whatever they were saying before. Like, come on, bro. So once they start feeling the rhythm and feeling the rhyme, then it's like, oh, they're nice.
Yep.
And they actually figure it out, and they're able to, like, do a few runs.
Yes.
So at this point, I think they're supposed to be able to go 3 times.
Correct.
And the first time they screw up or something. I don't really remember. But
yeah, I think the first times when they were knocking their heads around. Like they were in it, but like it was a very bumpy ride and it was very slow and it was just kind of like they didn't do really well.
Second time they do well.
Yes.
And they basically go from being dead last to being like 8th place or something like that. So it's like, oh, y'all are doing better. So by the third run, like, Darius is locked in. Mm-hmm. Like, he's in his bag. And you can tell that they're hitting all the corners perfectly. Mm-hmm. But we're seeing that because their equipment was janky, it starts to basically fall apart.
Yeah.
And he hits with one curve, and he's trying to make the turn, and the side of the sled just basically disjoints, and they have a really bad crash and burn.
Oh my God.
And I'm also thinking like, yo, they could have broken their necks because the bobsled turns on its side, and now your head is just like bouncing against the side of the ice.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was real.
Wait, what was real?
The crash.
What do you mean?
That was actual footage taken from the Jamaican bobsled team when they went to the Olympics in 1988.
Oh.
That was, so if you notice when you're watching the movie, when they start to crash and it goes on its side, the only time we see it is like we're seeing it at like the people who are back in Jamaica watching it through the TV screen. And we're seeing it through a TV because it's actual TV footage.
Oh, wow.
So like the head going up against the side, like that was real. So I'm watching that and I'm like, oh, like his head was just like bomb, 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 like banging.
Well, it's a good thing they wore helmets.
Well, that's why you have to wear it. It's a very dangerous sport.
Yeah, that's why that room cleared out at the beginning of the movie. They're like, not me.
Yeah, yeah. So basically in the real actual run, the crash occurred in their third run. There's basically 4 runs that are supposed to happen. And it happened in their third run.
Well, that's what happened in the movie too.
Yeah.
So they kept that one real.
And so obviously it's like, yeah, y'all are disqualified because.
But it also made me feel like the only reason they crashed out was because they had this janky equipment. Like, if they actually if they had some financial backing, and granted, they come from Jamaica. It's not like it's like a country with a ton of money. So I'm sure the Jamaican Olympic Committee was like, yo, like, we just don't have it. And also, we're really like a country that's really only concerned with track and field anyway. So like, it's not like we're just going to come up with all this money to fund this bobsled team that you just put together yesterday.
Right.
So it's not anybody's fault, but it just made me also think about how like money and classism always like plays a part. Like even when they're doing everything right, it's just like, oh, you guys are broke, so you just lost anyway. It's like, damn, like you just still can't win.
Yeah.
Even when you're trying, it's like, yo, you just kind of have to have money. And this is something that we see in real sports too. It's just like, you know, the countries with the means usually do better in the Olympics. Or, you know, I'm a big soccer fan, and you see like even on a club level, like the clubs with the most money, they win all the trophies because they have the money. So it's just kind of just the way that it works.
It also kind of reminds me of Bring It On. We touched base on that in that Patreon episode.
For sure.
Because it's like, yeah, you don't have the means. It's really sad to think about it because it's like, these guys are really good, really talented.
They figured it out. Like, they learned how to bobsled in like a month. Like,
3 months, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah, my man was like, he was ready. They probably still wouldn't have medaled, but they would have done better than disqualification. Like, and they would have, you know, I feel like they still were obviously able to represent their country and still, you know, people were still having pride in them, but it would have been a better finish if they were able to actually like get off all 4 rounds versus like, you know, but it is what it is.
Well, it looks like the last time they competed was, well, not saying the last time. I remember like looking at my notes, so that in 1994 they competed and they actually finished 14th, which is pretty good. So I wanted to talk about, you mentioned that they were able to earn respects from the other countries and just people that were watching. What I found to be hilarious was when they come to do their third run, everyone's excited because like Jamaica is like nice and nobody expected this. Bro, the amount of people wearing these Jamaica bobsled sweatshirts, like the commentators
had it on.
You cannot wear a country's garb. Like,
hey man, we're all in on Jamaica, baby.
You can't do that. You have favoritism. You're the sports commentators. That's not how that works.
During the Olympics, sports commentators have favoritism constantly. I was actually reading. I know fun facts is your thing, but I was.
You can do a fact. I
was reading that in real life, because this is what, the 1987 Winter Olympics. 88. The U.S. men's hockey team lost early, so they were like, "Oh crap!" Like, we were basically planning to like cover this team for a while, and they're out. So the American television coverage basically just started covering the Jamaican bobsled team because it was a feel-good story, and there was no American hockey.
Oh.
So I don't know if they were wearing like Jamaican sweatshirts, but I do know that watching Olympic coverage in America, like the American commentators are very biased. So I don't know if they would have gone so far as to like wearing sweatshirts, but I wouldn't be surprised if if we were to look at the actual footage, if they were like outwardly cheering for Jamaica. I'm pretty sure they probably were.
That's interesting. I figured they'd just be like very pro-America. I didn't think they would be rooting for another country.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
So after the crash, they have this heroic moment where they say like, nah, we're still going to cross the finish line.
Oh my God. And they all...
So the medics are coming to save them, and they're like, no, we don't need no medics.
We got this.
They get out of the bobsled. They get up. They pick the bobsled up on their shoulders and walk on the ice to finish granted, they've just been in a crash going like 80 miles an hour.
It doesn't make any sense.
They stand up and hold the bobsled on their shoulders. And the medics are just like,
all right, I guess you guys got it.
We're not going to check for concussions. We'll let you cross the finish line first. And then...
There's no way 4 of them would be able to carry that. That's first of all.
That's
first of all. There's no way. That thing weighs like a ton.
No way.
And then, of course, I know what you're going to say, the slow clap.
Oh, man. Do we get it?
And isn't it started by East Germany?
Yo, the 90s slow clap is
They love it.
I know we talk about 90s movies kisses, but I also feel like this is the thing that you definitely do not see anymore that was ever present in the 90s. Like, you would see it in movies, you would see it in TV shows, and it was always like somebody like, it's almost like they're hesitating at first, like, should I applaud here? And it's like they're doing it slowly. They want to see if it's gonna build. And
it always builds.
A second guy joins in, and then it's like,
hey, oh, I think
people are clapping.
We should clap.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna clap too. It's like, but then it's like, you could just clap. Like, why are you slow? Why are you doing it slow?
Why is it slow? Just start clapping.
Like, you could just be like, oh yeah,
yeah.
But it's like, nah, you gotta like, nice going, Jamaica. It's like, come on, why are they doing
Jamaica? And then, of course, Irv's old coach ends up
rousing.
Eventually, he looks around. He's like, "Yeah, I should clap
like,
too."
Yeah. They earned some applause. All right, I'll give him some. applause.
I guess I should clap too. Yo, the real story is actually kind of crazy.
Okay.
So this man named George Fitch, who ends up being like, at one point he was a mayor in Virginia, which is a very strange fact. He ends up being one of the co-founders of the Jamaican bobsled team. He was basically like a promoter of trade and commerce between the U.S. and Jamaica at one point. And while he was in Jamaica there for a wedding, he mentions to a Jamaican military officer that the athletes in Jamaica are basically talented enough to compete in any sport. He's like, yo, like they're mad fast, they're quick, they're this, that, and the other. And so he was watching the country's annual pushcart derby in the Blue Mountains. And he's like, yo, I feel like their sprinting talent would translate well to bobsled. So just kind of similar to like what the movie kind of did. He ends up recruiting 2 of the military's top runners, Mike White and Devin Harris. And the driver was a helicopter pilot, Dudley Stokes, who would be in charge of steering the sled. Fitch ended up using his own money to train the team. So he had bread.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually they were able to bring on 2 more members as well as a coach. So for the qualifier, they had to go to Austria first. So in the film, the director was saying that like they initially wanted to show like the qualifier in Austria and then show them going to Calgary. But he was like, we didn't really know how we were going to be able to show them raising money for both countries. It would have been too convoluted. Yeah. So they kind of just cut out the whole Austria part and did everything in Calgary.
Right.
When they got to Calgary, the International Olympic Committee tried to disqualify the team shortly before the Olympics because they felt like, oh, Jamaica's going to make like a mockery of the sport. They didn't think that they would compete seriously.
Oh, wow. So that part really happened.
Yeah. And they had various people who stepped in to champion them to compete, including the Prince of Monaco.
Monaco.
I said Monaco. Prince Albert apparently stepped in and was like, yo, let Jamaica compete. I was like, what? It's like really crazy. Like how many
Also hilarious that his name is Prince Albert.
Well.
So I'll leave that right there.
You can Google that if you don't know what that means.
Yeah. Don't Google it while you're at work.
Not safe for work at all. So that was kind of similar, but the coach was not a cheater. That part they added to kind of just add a little bit of conflict and to kind of explain why the other teams didn't really care for them. As far as the bobsled that they purchased, the team had to sell T-shirts and raise money to purchase the bobsled from Canada.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it's kind of a crazy story to think like how they actually got there. But what I found was interesting was talking about how the other teams kind of were like mocking them, surprised that they were there. I really liked the quote where your man Brenner was talking to them. They're all like sitting in the bobsled getting ready to do their first run. And they're like, yo, like what's the problem? Like, why is everybody looking at us like we're crazy? And Brenner says, we're different. People are always afraid of what's different. And I'm like, this theme keeps coming up, I feel like, in a lot of these films we've been covering lately, where it's like, people are just like, oh, like, what? Like, you're black from Jamaica? You can't do bobsled?
You're not supposed to be here.
Jamaica?
And also, it's like a respect thing of like, we don't respect you because we feel like you shouldn't be good at this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like we just want you to lose so you can get out the way.
Yeah. He even says, go back. He says, go back where you came from. I was like,
Sheesh.
People still say that, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're saying a lot right now. But anyway, yeah, I feel like that was definitely a thing of like, yeah, I feel like it was a underdog story that makes it easy for them for you to root for them.
Yeah. Which is always fun.
Yeah. So I think you kind of alluded to it, but what would you say the theme of this movie?
I mean, there's a lot of them. You have the whole David and Goliath kind of situation, like the underdog coming in. No one thinks that they're going to be able to do well. But I think even beyond that, it's this idea of staying true to yourselves. Because like I said before, when Denise was trying to... Denise. It's not his name. Derice, not Denise. When he's trying to act like the Swiss and they end up sucking because it's like, bro, like that's not y'all. Do your own thing. And so when they actually end up taking pride, and it goes back to the whole I see power, I see pride in yourself, being your authentic self, that's when they're able to strive and do their best.
Yeah, I also feel like the theme for me was that chasing your dreams and striving for your goals is the greatest form of achievement. Because ultimately we see that they did not win. They didn't even place. They get disqualified, but nobody's sad and everybody's still proud of them.
Yeah.
And I think even thinking about it from the perspective of the individuals, right? Like Derice wanted to be an Olympian. He was able to make it happen really all by himself. Like he created this whole situation. He found a coach. He put together a team. He learned how to steer a bobsled. Like
I know.
Or Junior being able to like stand up to his dad and like, yes, you got to go to the Olympics. Y'all took a L. Or even just the fact that they decided to like be original and do their own thing and not just try to copy the Swiss. Like the fact that they were able to chase the dream and actually put everything into making it happen was more of an achievement than if they'd have tried to copy some other people and then won third place. You know what I'm saying? So you actually, instead of, or even for Junior, like, hey, he probably could have just gone to Miami and been very successful.
Yes.
But that's not his dream. So that, to me, is not really the same level of achievement versus like doing what you're really passionate about, putting everything into it, and win, lose, or draw. At the end of the day, you can be proud of it because you chased your goal.
And not just chasing your goal, like he actually earned this versus the job in Miami would have been a handout.
Yep, that's true. That's a good point.
So that added layer of being like, I did this on my own and I earned a spot to be here versus like, I have this job because daddy made a few phone calls.
Yep.
All right, so I have a couple more facts before we wrap up and give our scores. First and foremost, I want to give a second shout out to another Patreon member, Jeremy.
Shout out to Jeremy.
Jeremy sent us a message letting us know that the score was actually written by Hans Zimmer. Now,
That's crazy.
Which is wild because Hans Zimmer is known for doing, all types of movies like Inception and like Shutter Island and I mean, basically any movie you can think of, like he does the score and his music is fantastic. I actually have an instrumental playlist on my Spotify and Hans Zimmer is all over that thing. Like I love his music and I did not know that he scored this film. So shout out to Jeremy for letting us know about that. That was actually pretty dope. As far as the actual actors in the bobsled, they did not drive an actual bobsled because that would be way too dangerous.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But they did have to learn to run and jump into it for filming. They had to take 2 weeks only to learn how to do that, they said. And they would go down with actual bobsled drivers, but they did not go as fast as what we saw in the film. They took them down at a slower pace, but they did have to learn how to go down to kind of see what it was like to ride in a bobsled. And then lastly, during the interview I read in Entertainment Weekly, they all said that John Candy was such a stand-up guy. They had nothing but nice things to say about him. They said apparently at one point he took them all out to dinner, and during the dinner, he basically presented like a song for each of the actors that he thought would represent their characters. And he's like, oh, this song would be for you, this song would be for you. And I'm like, that's so thoughtful.
He made him a mixtape?
Well, I don't think it was a mixtape, but he kind of was just like, oh, like, these are the songs that I think represent your characters.
Okay.
Like, he picked out a song for them. And I'm like, oh, that's really sweet.
Shout out to
they
legend,
they kind of had, like, a really nice, almost like an actual coach and team bond with him, they said, on the set. So he was a good guy.
Yeah, rest in peace to the legend. This movie came out in 93 and he passed in 94. So this would have been probably one of, if not the last films that he ended up making before passing away.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Time to do
scores.
our rewind ratings.
I don't know who went first last week. I can never remember.
I don't remember either, but I'll go first.
Okay.
This is a nostalgic movie. It's a good, feel-good underdog story. You know, pretty innocent kids film. There wasn't really a lot that I could pull out of in terms of things that did not age well. And I think the fact that it's like a movie for children and it's based in history, you know, there's not a lot that they could have put in here that wouldn't have aged well, I don't think. Yeah, it's not like, I wouldn't call this like an amazing movie, but I feel like it ages pretty well, and it's like a fun family movie. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay, that's a decent enough score.
Yeah,
this was fun. The only thing they said that was like a little on the line, and I didn't think it was inappropriate, I thought it was funny, was when they were trying to think of names to like name their bobsled, and Junior says, what about Tallulah? Mm-hmm. And Sanka said, sounds like a $2 hooker. Mm-hmm. And she just said, that's my mom's name.
Yeah.
I mean, hooker, not the best word, but it's, for a PG movie, but
well, hey. Parents got to use some guidance, you know?
Yeah,
that's PG.
I suppose so. So, but other than that, nothing stood out to me as something that was even slightly inappropriate. It was just good fun.
Yeah.
One quote I did want to pull out before I give my score that we didn't mention is when Irv is getting ready to say a prayer with the guys before they go down. Mm-hmm. And he says, our Father who art in Calgary, bobsled be thy name. Thy kingdom come, gold medals won, on earth as it is in turn 7. With liberty and justice for Jamaica, Hail Selassie. Amen. I laughed. I was like, this is so stupid, but this is actually really funny.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it was fun. So, you know what? I am going to say ditto on the score. How about that?
3.5. 3.5.
Yeah, because it's more than a 3. It's more than a 3.
All right, there you go. Let us know your rewind rating for 1993's Cool Runnings. You can reach out to us via email at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on social media at RR90spod. Search for the Rewind Rewatch podcast, and you will find us there as well. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast if you haven't already.
Yeah, good point.
Send us comments. Comments are definitely a good way to continue to boost the podcast, as well as providing a 5-star rating. And if you are interested in more goodies and tidbits from your favorite podcast hosts, you can also subscribe to our Patreon page.
Yeah, our second Patreon bonus episode is now up. So you'll be able to access that as well.
All right. Any final words?
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
All right. There we go.
Later.
Adios.